My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I am your trusted voice of clarity and transformation. I teach creative individuals how to transform their lives through embracing the entirety of their best self, or through embracing the dimensional truth of their story. All right. I want to thank you for joining me on tonight. I am a little behind schedule for those who are subscribed to our mailing list. If you're listening and you're not subscribed, I encourage you to go over to www.transformuinstitute.com, and I want you to subscribe today. That way you are notified every time we go live with Small Talk. All right. Now let's get going. I'm not going to be on here long. I sound like I'm preaching. I'm not going to be before you very long. Now, real talk, we're not going to talk long. These small talks are what? Small talks. All right. So here we go. I posed a question when I sent out the email earlier today. And that question was, what if the person that you are trying to be, working to be, aspiring to be, that better version of yourself, what if you are already that person? What if you were already that person? And that's what we were going to explore our spend our conversation on tonight. But got a little change to it. But before we change it, I do want to address that. What I want you to understand is, and this is something I had to grow into or begin to embrace for myself. You were created with everything that you need inside of you. Locked inside of you are dimensions of yourself that you have yet to explore. You're uncomfortable with those dimensions. Yet also, everything is in you, so therefore you are already whole. We just need you to embrace that wholeness that is you. It's not that you need to create a better version of yourself. You just need to open yourself more to yourself. And the more that you are willing to open yourself to you, and the more that you are willing to stand in that mirror, look yourself in the face and say, yo, okay, I didn't see that about you before. Because sometimes we can be so distracted and so focused on everything that's outside of us that we will neglect or forget to explore the things that are inside of us. So I want you to know the answer to that question is that you are already your best self. That best self cannot be compared to any other version of you, but it is the present version of you. And because you are present, you are able to take advantage of every opportunity that is placed before you. You can take all of the energy that you embody. If you've heard me talk before, you know I tell you to go gather that energy from your past. Gather that energy that you're devoting to the possibilities of the future. Merge it with the energy of the now. Create that synergy. Let those three energies work as they are together. Do not try to make past energy present energy. Don't try to make future energy present energy. Don't try to make present energy past energy, or present energy future energy. Allow them to intertwine together. Create that synergy. And then that synergy is you, baby. That's your best self. All right. So let's move on. Here's what we're going to talk about on tonight. Okay. Now, before we get to that, I'm going to tell you a little story. Then we're going to go from there. Okay. You heard me go to my default introduction, and my default introduction is, what's up, everybody? My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I am your trusted voice of clarity and transformation. I teach creative individuals how to transform their lives through embracing the entirety of their best self. All right. Or embracing the dimensional truth of their story. That's my default. Now we're going to talk about that in a minute. The question that I want to pose to you is, what if the dimensions of you that you are rejecting are the dimensions that you need right now? There are dimensions in each side of us. Matter of fact, we are multi-dimensional creatures. If you ever heard my podcast, the Multi-Dimensional Intelligence Podcast, all right, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com, you're going to get all the information you need right there, okay? If you heard me talk about, our internal intelligence, inside of us, there are dimensions, or if you want to call them chambers. And our responsibility is that we allow ourselves to play with or explore those chambers of who we are. When we don't allow ourselves to explore those chambers, we begin to limit ourselves. Some of us, we live from one dimension. We're known for one thing. We perfected that one thing. We're great at that one thing, but yet we still feel like there's got to be more to us inside. Some of us may be known for two things. We are two-dimensional, and we're known for those two things, but yet we still feel a pull. Then there's some of us that we just, oh man, we done mastered the game because we are three-dimensional individuals. We're known for three things, those three things that we perfected and we are great at. But what if I tell you that that's great that you mastered one, that's great that you perfected two, that's great that you embody three, but there are multi-dimensions inside of you that you have yet to unlock and explore. You are bigger than a three-dimensional individual. You're bigger than that. You're greater than that. It's inside of you. All right. So here's my question to you. What if you are rejecting the dimension of you that you need right now? Or what if you're rejecting the dimensions? Listen to me, I'm trying to talk all fast and get tongue twisted. What if you are rejecting the dimensions of you that you need right now? What if you're rejecting those dimensions? Think about that. Real talk. What if you are rejecting those dimensions? Now, here's a story in case you're like, well, Cliff, what are you talking about? You talking about these dimensions, these chambers? I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is I know there's more to life than me, and I want to experience that more than life to me. Perfect. That's what we're going to talk about. Okay. Let me tell you a little story. Okay. So I started playing with coaching. I'm going to say the truth, playing with coaching some years back, probably about 7 or 8 years, officially / unofficially. I started coaching. Okay. And I started out as a finance coach. Now, finance as in the management and, the mindset, how you manage your finances. I don't call myself a financial coach. I don't deal with the financial side of things that much. I mainly deal with your mindset concerning not just money, but currency. Okay. So let's go. Started that 7 years ago. Well, I hit a space where imposter syndrome showed up. And here's why imposter syndrome showed up. Because I didn't see my finances flowing the way that I felt they should, or coming in the way that I felt they should. And my personal finances, to me, and all of my unrealistic self, were not matching what I felt they should be in order for me to be an expert in the area of finance. So what did I do? I slid to the left a little bit, but I just went right. Cliff, this is your left and that's your right. What are you doing? I slid to my right a little bit, and in some instances, I slid to my left a little bit. And what I began to do was find a space that I was comfortable in. And that space I was comfortable in was personal development. So remember, I went to my default. I went to my default introduction. I do it all the time because that's the space that I was comfortable in. Well, here's the reality. Anytime you find yourself in a space that you're comfortable in, you only can exist there for a while. You only can exist there for a while. And you may experience spurts or sporadic success, but there'll still be something inside of you that's telling you there is more inside of you. All right. So go back, probably July last year. I'm in a session with my identity strategist, Michael Weston, www.yoursupernormal.com. Make sure you check him out, man. In a session with him, and we're going over some things as it relates to me and my business. And he said something along the lines, that's great, but how are you going to fit financial coaching into this? And me being the person that I am, I had this superpower of ignoring the things that I don't want to face. So I just ignored it. Okay. I just ignored it. So we get to around December. I'm updating the website because we're about to do this business in a whole nother way. Yo, we're about to take this business to the next dimension while I'm still rejecting but that's not even the point. That's not even the point. We'll get back to that. So I'm updating the website and I said, you know what? Let me go back 7 years and get some of the testimonials that people were giving. So I started reading all of the testimony, y'all. And when I say all, I mean all. I am not exaggerating at all. Every testimonial I had dealt with me as a finance coach. Now, the newer ones, they dealt with the personal development, but everything at the foundation of everything dealt with me as a finance coach. So I'm like, yo, what in the world? This is crazy. Like, I don't want to do this. Why does this keep showing up? So probably about a week later, me and Michael are on the phone again, and we're talking about his retreat. And he asked me 3 questions. And when he asked me those 3 questions, he said, okay, great. So then he said, I just text you something. He texted me 3 points on something. He said, okay, that's the points for your talk during the retreat, because you're going to talk about finances during the retreat. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to the retreat to be a participant. All right. That's what I want to do. I want to go and be a participant. I wasn't trying to go and speak, and especially not speak on finances. Like, what? Why does this thing keep showing up for me? Now, keep in mind, it was at the root, or it was at the foundation of me as a coach. Okay. So finally I said, okay, I'm going to embrace this thing. And I am not just a clarity coach, but I am a finance clarity coach. That's what I told myself. You are a finance clarity coach. Let's do this thing. It's on and popping. Okay. So the reason why I shared that story with you is because one of the things that I realized was my finances will never get to the space that I desire for them to get to if I keep rejecting the dimension of me that's connected to finances. If I'm rejecting finances, how can I expect to create either an energy shield, an atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, that's attractive to finances? How? I'm rejecting it. So one of the things I had to realize was, wait a minute, before you can talk to these people about their mindset and their mentality, you have to allow yourself to embrace this mentality for yourself. And you have to stop rejecting the dimension of you that you need right now. Not that nobody else needs, but that I need right now. So I ask you a question again. What if you are rejecting the dimension of you that you need right now? What you going to do with that? Listen, I want you to subscribe to my mailing list, www.transformuinstitute.com. That's also our online campus. I want you to go over there. We have some courses over there. We have some clarity conversations over there. Now, clarity conversations are our spin on webinars and workshops and seminars. So I want you to check all of that out. And then I want you to tap in with me. I want you to let me know if there's a dimension that you acknowledge about yourself that you have been resistant towards, or dimensions about yourself that you've been resistant towards. Or you say, Cliff, I hear what you're saying, these dimensions, these chambers, these parts of me that you're talking about, but I just don't know which one it is that I'm rejecting. That's okay. Let's sit down and have a conversation, a complimentary clarity conversation. You and me. Now, complimentary means no strings attached, anything like that. Let's just sit down and talk, all right? As I always say, create a great day, walk with purpose, and listen, y'all, embrace every dimension of who you are. Peace.